It's now my pleasure to introduce you to the next keynote speaker. Tim Hightower is part of our Performance Advocate program at dōTERRA. This program is comprised of professional athletes that have integrated dōTERRA into their profession. Tim is an NFL running back and has played for the New Orleans Saints, Washington Redskins, Arizona Cardinals, and San Francisco 49ers. I had the pleasure of getting to know Tim during a dōTERRA event in Chicago this summer. As a professional athlete and star running back in the NFL, the fame and fortune could easily go to your head. You will see he breaks that mold, and the combination of hard work and humility have made him a role model for kids and adults. The story gets even better. When he brought his wife RIkki to the Chicago event, she presented with him. Leaving the event, I think most people thought RIkki was the performance advocate. Sorry about that, Tim. But if you ask me, Tim can thank his wife for success in the NFL because she introduced him to dōTERRA and the power of essential oils. Take a look at this video.
Fifth grade, I told my mom I wanted to play professional football. Wrote it down on a sheet of paper. I would carry it around with me everywhere I went. I didn't have a flashy collegiate career. It just was a lot of hard work and a lot of just keep your head down and keep working and just believe that good things will happen. And it was never this high point to where I felt like I arrived. It was always something to keep me humble, to keep me focused, to keep my head down.
When I was your age, well, you know what I thought? I thought if I make the NFL one day, I make a lot of money, all my problems are gonna go away. Because people with money don't have any problems. Who said that's not true? Amen. When you see me, you see an NFL player. That's what you see. That's my platform. That's the opportunity I have. Who am I? First of all, I'm somebody who's been created with a purpose. My purpose is to use my gifts, my passions, my abilities, and my influence to do what? To be successful, but more importantly, to show somebody else how to do it.
Family's foundation. It's stability. It's everything before the life got, you know, all the responsibilities and the demands, the high pressures, all those things. It was family. It was community. It was values. I didn't really understand the importance of a holistic lifestyle of taking care of my body. I always trained hard. And man, I got to give Miss Hightower, RIkki Hightower, my wife, I have to give her all the credit for that. She really started to introduce me to a different approach, to introducing me to essential oils, you know, calming down and just relaxing. And the rubs. I mean, that Deep Blue that's my best friend. It's been a really cool discovery of different ways that we can go about taking care of our body and just living in general.
Don't just be content with where you are now, but to search within yourself, use the people around you, and to use the gifts that you've been given on this earth to make this place a better place. You know, so that's what drives me every single day. I'm always trying to figure out, man, how can I learn? How can I grow? How can I maximize my potential? And how is this impacting my family, my future generations, and my community? And that's, I think, what keeps me going every day.
dōTERRA, let's give a huge welcome to Tim and RIkki Hightower.
Someone like you.
Insane.
dōTERRA, how we doing? Everybody good? You look good. Don't start my time just yet. Don't start my time just yet. Hold up. My name is Tim Hightower. This is my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wife, RIkki Hightower. Give a hand for RIkki real quick. We are so thankful to be here with you. Man, we've traveled all the way from Richmond, Virginia. I know many of you have traveled. Anybody from Richmond, Virginia in the house?
Hey.
Okay. I know many of you have traveled from a lot of far places all across the world to be here. This is something that's very, very important to us. We're so thankful to be here with you and to share a little bit of our story, to hear some of your story and to connect with you all. As you see in the video, I've been a part of dōTERRA. I'm thankful to the whole dōTERRA team, to Kirk, Corey, Emily, all of you for having us on board, having our family. So we're thankful for that. Thank you to you all. I think you're somewhere up here and somewhere down here. Thank you for having us here. This conference, so far from what I've seen, the theme is dream, and you've been wowed by many performers and many presentations about dreaming, something that you all understand very well. I see your teams. RIkki and I have watched the social media interactions. You all have big goals. You all have big dreams. I want to share a little bit of our story, my journey, and hopefully it can resonate with you, whether you like football, whether you love football, whether you know absolutely nothing about football. Hopefully something from our journey together can resonate with you, and you can take it back to wherever you are, be inspired to live your best life and to continue to dream big. Can we start now? All right.
I'm going to have a seat.
This first, a little bit about me. I am a professional athlete, but there's a lot of different things that you'll get to know about me that I'll talk about. I want to talk to you a little bit today. Why am I here? I want to talk to you a little bit today about triumph over struggle. So I'm going to share a little bit about, again, my journey, my background, but also a lot of people ask, how in the world did you make it back to the NFL after being out for 4 years? The average NFL career is only 2.5 years. So I missed almost 4 years with an injury, but I was able to come back. And to me, there are some key components that I attribute to, and I'm very thankful, and that have become a part of my life and who I am today. Who am I? As you see, I'm a husband, I'm a father. You saw my 2 kids in the video. I'm a son, a brother, a friend, a lot of different things. The early years for me, this is young Hightower, you see young Tim, and my father was a professional boxer. I was born in California. Okay, all my Californians out there. So I was born in California, and my father was in the Marines. He was stationed in the Marines. He was a boxer. I would see him. I didn't understand a lot of what he was doing being a young kid, but I would see him. He would get up every morning. He would still train 2, 3, 4 hours, go to work, come back home. And as a kid, I really saw that discipline. I saw the work ethic. I didn't understand it, but I saw it. Fast forward, we moved from California. We relocate to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Anybody from Oklahoma in here? Where you at? Okay, Oklahoma. We relocate to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I grew up playing soccer. I loved soccer. Soccer was my favorite sport. My soccer coach said, "Hey, Mr. Hightower, I think your son should play football." He allowed me to play football, and there was something about the football for me. It was liberating for me. No matter what was going on, we moved a lot when I was a kid. You know, we were moving constantly from place to place. But for whatever reason, when I got on that football field, when I put a ball in my hand, it was something that was liberating. All of my problems went away. And so I told my mother in the 5th grade that I was going to play professional football. I wrote it down, I put it on a sheet of paper, and I would carry it around everywhere I went. That was my dream. I had a big dream. I didn't know anything about the statistics of how many people actually make it. I just knew that for me, this is something that I wanted to do, and I set myself to do it. Fast forward a little bit, I go to high school. This is right before, before you play professional football, you got to go to college. So for me, this was a big step. I've been working very, very hard. I get to high school. This is when part of your dream starts to become a reality. The college scholarships, the college coaches are knocking on your door. College is the first step. You get a degree, get a good education, and then you play professional football. Well, I didn't have a lot of scholarships. Matter of fact, I didn't have any. And I remember right before my senior year in high school, I broke my foot. I remember being devastated. I had worked all the way since I was in the 5th grade. This was my opportunity to show the world what I could do. This was my first introduction, and I could no longer play football. And I remember just breaking down in tears. I was distraught. Well, finally, I get one opportunity from University of Richmond. I had no clue where or who the University of Richmond was. All I knew was they gave me an opportunity, so I'll take it. The first thing I did when I got to college, I remember taking out paper and writing goals and putting them all around my room. I beat my roommate there, so I claimed my bed, I claimed my side, and I just remember putting goals everywhere. I wanted to graduate with this, this degree. I wanted to become the all-time leading rusher. I wanted to make the NFL. All of these different goals. I put it in my locker. The upperclassmen, who is this young guy? Who does he think he is, with these lofty goals? They would soon find out.
Getting drafted was a dream come true. And then getting a chance that first year to play it in the Super Bowl, what I had envisioned since I was a little kid. And at that point, I thought my purpose was to get to the NFL, make a lot of money, and I'd be set forever. I didn't know what would come.
They go back to Hightower. He is in pain. And you see the left knee go out. He's already hopping up on it, grabbing it. And the crowd here applauding.
So what do you do now? And you're being told that you may never play football again. What do you do when everything that you prepared for is gone? It flashes in front of you. What do you do? I remember sitting in that hospital bed, just tears flooding my eyes. And I remember thinking about the conversation my mother telling me, nothing can stop a man with purpose. Son, be purpose driven. So after I wiped my tears, I closed my eyes, I took out a pen, and I began to write.
I knew I must redefine my purpose. My life was different. Things changed, but the process was the same. I made a promise to myself that not only would I come back stronger, but that I would use my experiences, my story, to impact the lives of many and to challenge others to never give up, to find their purpose.
So there are 5 things about this story that I want to leave you with and charge you with before RIkki gets up here and shares some of her perspective. So as you saw in the first video, my goal was, as a young kid, I wanted to make it to the NFL. Next thing you know, I was going to be very rich, and then I would have no problems at all. That couldn't have been farther from the truth. I did not plan for that to happen. I did not plan to be at 24 years old, my career snatched from beneath me before it even got, before I really got started. One thing I learned about that whole process is pain. There's something about pain is power. See, what I thought was pain meant something was wrong. Pain meant something was wrong with me, that I messed up, that I did something wrong, that I wasn't good enough. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe I wasn't meant to be. But what I found out was until I was not able to fully heal from this injury until I embraced this pain. Until I recognized where I was, this is what happened. And it's not about what happened to me. It's about what am I going to do about what happened? And how will I use this to make my life better, but more importantly, my family's life better, and the lives of every single person who I come in contact with. So the first thing I learned is to embrace my pain. We all have it. But I learned to embrace my pain and to find out how can I use it to make this world a better place. The next thing I learned about purpose is passion. Why do I say that? For me, what drove me after I was able to get through this pain, this emotional, this physical pain, I was able to re-identify a purpose. I thought at that point in time my purpose was to do one thing, but now that purpose had to be redefined. I had to find what was it about this journey, what was going to get me up every single day, what was going to give me life every single day, what was I going to commit myself to, I was going to dedicate myself to. Why is that so important? Because sometimes I just looked up, I was sitting in that hospital bed, and I found myself drifting. I found myself thinking, man, how am I going to ever get through this? But as soon as I re-identified purpose and I gave my life direction, I sat there with my wife and I wrote down every single goal again, just like I did when I was a little kid. You've all been hearing about dreaming like when you were a kid. When you were a kid, you were ambitious. There was nothing that was impossible for you. But for whatever reason, when pain happens to us, It silences our dreams. So purpose gives you the ability to dream again like a kid. That's why purpose was important to me. Always understanding your purpose and having a purpose for everything that you do. Thank you. Third thing, people. You clearly understand that with all of the teams. I love it. We were in the hotel and I saw the teams. I saw the excitement. You learn that. It took me a while to learn that. Because see, being in a competitive sport, I'm so competitive against everyone. I'm taught that I got to compete. I have to be better. I have to outdo and I have to outperform. And so now all of a sudden, who am I going to compete with when I'm laying in a hospital bed? Who am I going to compete with when I'm meeting with doctor after doctor after doctor and telling me your career is over with? It's done. No more. Your career is done. I have nobody to compete with. But what I also found out is it's not about me. I needed people. Yeah, Tim, you can run fast, you can jump high, but guess what? You still need people. You need a wife. You need a community. You need family. You need people who are going to pour into your life, who are going to challenge you to grow. And you need to pour into their life and challenge them to grow. I learned the power of people. When I was sitting there, and after year 2, after year 3, and I said, I can't take this anymore. I quit. I'm done. It was this woman right here. This woman right here looked at me and said, I can be a little stubborn, but she said, you know what? After you wipe your tears, after you get through that, we're going to finish this journey together. Because that's not what you said. That's not what you said that you would do. I needed people who are going to look me in the eye and say, I know who you are, and I know how you're feeling, but I'm going to hold your hand, and we're going to get there together. I needed that. People. Persistence. We hear this term thrown around so loosely about being persistent. Studies have actually found out one of the number one things that we can pass on to our kids is resilience, the trait of resilience, right? How much do we prepare for goals? We prepare for our lofty ambitions, but do we prepare for failure? Do any of us in here expect to fail? No, we shouldn't. But one thing that we all have to understand is that we all have to be persistent. That no matter what we accomplish, if someone were to tell me, okay, Tim, what is your goal? Okay, you want to be a professional football player, that's great. And then they flashed in front of me the next 10, 15 years, you were going to endure this type of pain, this type of loss. You were going to lose everything, but then you would finally make it. Would you still want it? Would you still want it? Think about it real quick. Think about all the goals and the lofty ambitions you have. If I would have flashed every one of your goals across the screen, and I would be able to play out 5, 10, 15 years, just all of the heartache and the pain that you would endure, would you still travel that journey? Persistence. No matter what happens to you, understand you can, you will, you must overcome it. Lastly, for me, prayer. What is prayer? So many people use, I'm not up here, I'm not a preacher, I'm not here to preach to you. But for me, there's no way I can share a journey without this. Because you know what? When I didn't have family at times, when sometimes it was just me, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep. I had the thoughts of my mind. I had my conversations, my prayer with God. And you know what? God help me. I don't know what's going on, but I need help. I know what happens when you go through a time where you're feeling lost and you're feeling like everything has been snatched away from you. You start to lose confidence in yourself. I did. The young boy who had lofty dreams and ambitions, before I met anybody, I believed in myself. I believed there was something guiding me on the inside of me. Next thing you know, pain comes, tragedy comes, heartbreak comes. I no longer hear that voice. So prayer for me was something I had to reintroduce myself to myself. Who am I? What were those dreams that were downloaded on the inside of me when I was a kid? I had to get back to the person who I was before this happened. And that brought confidence, that brought a sense of renewed purpose. So I encourage you all today, why does all that matter to you? Because I don't care what profession, I don't care where you are in your life. I encourage you to find your 5 pillars. to look at your situation and say, no matter what happens, yes, I will face pain, but I can and I will and I must endure and overcome it because I have a story as well. I encourage all of you to identify what purposes are, what is driving you in life. Why am I doing what I'm doing? I encourage all of you to surround yourself with people and to be that person for somebody. How can I help you and pull you along? How can I be that support system? I encourage all of you to never, ever give up. And lastly, I encourage all of you to pray and never stop praying and to continue to pray. Thank you.
Wow, I mean, that was incredible. I have to follow up behind this guy. So again, like you said before, I'm RIkki, and I am as well a mom of two. We have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they are a handful. Let me tell you, a handful. But they are funny, and we have so much fun with them. So I do want to discuss how we get over and get through things that we go through in life, how our journey. Tim, he has his external scars, and through that, he has such an incredible story that is able to reach so many people. But we often have internal scars from the things that we go through in life that we never, ever want to tell anyone about, things that we never even want to deal with, things that, in essence, prohibit us to be who we were called to be. They stop us from tapping into the gifts and the passions that we have. So as you can see here, well, wherever they are around, you see pictures of 2 little girls having fun and going throughout things. And the center, that's a picture of my sister and I on Christmas. Don't ask me about that dress when we're done because the 80s were a puffy time, I guess. So this pink situation here. And Santa Claus, of course, you got to have a classic Santa Claus picture. And the third picture, my grandfather, he was a photographer. So he would always put us in his studio, and then he would take all these pictures of us. And you know what? Thank God he did, because I'm able to have so many memories. Not too long after that last picture, I'd say a few days before, or maybe a few weeks before my 6th birthday, my entire world changed. My sister, my older sister there, she drowned at the beach. My mom, we begged her. We wanted to go because my aunt, she told my mom that she wanted to take us, and she was like, no, I don't think it'll be a good idea. But we pushed it, and the unfortunate occurred. I mean, I literally remember like it was yesterday, walking around on that beach, asking people, had they seen her, describing her 2-piece bikini. I mean, it was pink and purple, and it had the little frills around it, the 80s. And it was almost like an endless thing. And I remember the amount of emotion that I had, the transparent emotion, and I did not care who knew that I was missing someone, who knew that I was going through something at that very moment. It didn't matter to me. And in that, I never wanted to feel that feeling again. I chose to, after that moment, take that tragedy and put it in a box, put it away for no one to ever see. I became a professional at wearing a mask and never allowing anyone to see my fears, my insecurities, the innermost me, to the point where I lost touch of who I was myself. I had no clue what my inner voice was. All I knew was that I had to be tough. I had to be tough for my family. I had to be strength for my mother. She was pregnant at the time, and we were welcoming a new baby a few months later, and I had to be strong for that baby as well. Because my mom, going through what she had and losing her oldest daughter, her firstborn, She needed someone tough around her. She needed someone to protect not only her, but to protect our entire family. So, like I said, I became a pro at wearing a mask and, just never allowing anyone to know what I wanted to do. I was secretly this art student. I was in the drama club. I was a thespian, but I never let anyone really know that. My friends, they secretly knew it, but everyone else, they needed to know me as someone who played sports and who was athletic and someone who never backed down to anyone. I became so caught up with this that I didn't realize the importance in connection and connecting with other people. I didn't realize that who I was and the things that I went through would bring me closer to other people. I didn't realize the importance of our journey and the story that it told. Eventually, in wanting to find my own voice, I started to really, really pay attention to people. I mean, like, study people. The way that they walked, the little subtle nuances in their personality, the things that they felt but would never tell anyone. And I wanted to understand why people did what they did, why people couldn't say what they wanted to say, and why people felt what they felt but never wanted to share it with anyone. And then what I noticed is that in this, we isolated ourselves from the world. We separated ourselves from people that we need and people who need us. We looked at our scars like something unsightly, something that was not meant to be seen, that something was not beautiful. And in that, as Tim said, there is triumph over pain. There is beauty in struggle. There's something that strengthens every one of us, and that is our story and the things that we go through. So I ran across this amazing article in the New York Times, and it had this beautiful picture with it. An artist by Mary Lennox. She put together these pictures. And in the article, it talked about weeds essentially having their moment of glory. Weeds had before, they've never been viewed as anything beautiful or positive or really anything that contributed much to society or people or well-being or life. And then I thought, oh man, wow, that's exactly how we view tragedy and scars and things that we just want to bury away. We want to dig it up and, it's not pretty. It's not suited for a bouquet. It's not suited to be presented to people. And then it also said that now in this moment, there's this cultural shift where weeds are embraced. They're beautiful. They're now being put in the most beautiful arrangements. People are paying a ridiculous amount of money for these things. Do you understand me? Because people are finding value in struggle. People now are saying, this beautiful prickly pear or whatever these things are, they're beautiful. I'm going to put it beside this valued peony. And in that, I just thought, wow, if we could as people put our stories and connect with one another, if we could connect our hardships to the beauty of another person, if we could just, for a moment, stop and try to see beauty in flaws, beauty in our flaws, beauty in the flaws of other, we will be better off. We'd be a better suited group of people, and we'd be able to touch and reach out to so many other people. So in that, I allowed what people told me or what people made me feel, that when we go through things that we need to be tough, that we need not show any emotion, that we need to isolate that, get over it, and move past it. I allowed that to define who I was. Growing up, I wanted to be the center of attention, always dancing around. Everybody had to see me. Me and my sister, we competed in that nature. And then I convinced myself, no, you're better suited in the background. No one really needs to hear what you have to say. No one really cares what you have to say. No one wants to see you. People only want to look at you, say, oh, you're a pretty face, but they don't care what's inside you. I allowed what society deemed as beautiful to make me feel slightly uncomfortable. So I just wanted to sit back. And so I want to leave you with this: to never allow yourself to be defined by someone else's opinion of you. To get in touch with who you are, because your gifts, they will be revealed to you based on how you accept you, how you accept your past, and how you accept the things that you've been through. Your dreams, they'll be revealed to you like never before once you get in contact with you and that inner voice in you and understand who you are and what you're meant to do on this earth. I also want to challenge you guys to understand better what your story is. To just maybe take some time today and reflect and think about the things that may have happened to you that caused you to change who you were, to silence your voice, to hide your story. Maybe even if a person told you you weren't valuable, that your story wasn't incredible, that your product wasn't worthy. Think about those things in that time and be empowered by those moments. Because you are each purposed here today with a story. And I want to just take a minute before I'm done and also say that there was a few people that after we spoke in Chicago, and I started following you guys' pages on Instagram, and I was so touched by your stories. And there were other people's pages that were cool too. They were, selling your products, and which is totally incredible because you guys have a product that is true. And what is everyone out here trying to do? They're trying to find what's true. But in truth, we need connection. In truth, you need knowledge. And me connecting with certain people's pages and seeing what they're doing and understanding what their truth was found through their stories. There's one lady in particular, I don't know if she's here, but hey girl, if you're here, she often talks about her son and how they overcame cancer and how essential oils were there for her and her family and how it's become a staple in her life. And I will follow this girl's page because I am sold, I'm bought in 110%. So I encourage you to share with your followers the things that you've gone through in life, not to hide them, not to put them away in the box, but days that you're feeling down I like elevation. So put a few drops of elevation and have a post and share why you're doing it. Know that there's always a purpose behind every single thing that you do. And people want to know what that purpose is because everyone is walking around here trying to figure out what their purpose is. Nothing that you do in vain. You guys are here because you know that what you have is important. You believe in dōTERRA. dōTERRA's helped me in so many ways, emotionally and physically. I mean, I try to work out every now and again, and then my shoulder, I get the little deep blue out, and I'm good, And so people, they want this. They want to have something to connect with. So I encourage all of you to share those things. I'm watching, Tim's watching, we're following you. We're encouraged and motivated by you. So I hope that in return, you guys were encouraged and motivated by us today. We really do. We enjoy and we love all your stories that you share with us. And just like how on those wonderful arrangements that was made by Mary Lennox and all of these beautiful bouquets and arrangements that we see in stores together, know that that's how we're meant to fit in as a society and as a culture. That people look in different ways, doing different things, they're meant to fit into something. whether it's a vase or whether it's a garden in front, but we're meant to live and coexist together and share our beauty and connect with one another. So, got anything you want to say?
Y'all give it up for Rikki.
Yeah, I said I would never do this because I'm the shy one. I wouldn't even take pictures with this guy.
Thank you all for...
Oh, sorry.
Thank you all for having us here. Kirk, Emily, the whole dōTERRA crew. Thank you all for having us. I want to leave with this last quote. I can do things that you cannot do. You can do things that I cannot do. Together we can do great things. I hope that you take this back to your groups, back home, wherever you are. Dream big, live big, never ever give up. We love you. Thank you, dōTERRA.